Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I request Honorable Mr. Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya, Chief Justice High Court of Delhi, Honorable MS Justice Prathiba M. Singh, Judge High Court of Delhi and Chairperson Internal Complaints Committee, Honorable Mr. Justice Amit Bansal, Judge High Court of Delhi and Member Internal Complaints Committee, Shri N. Hariharan, President Delhi High Court Bar Association, Shri Rajesh Mishra, Bar Council of Delhi, to kindly grace the dais. I request all to kindly rise for the national anthem.
मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Honorable Mr. Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya, Chief Justice, High Court of Delhi, Honorable Ms. Justice Prathiba M. Singh, Judge, High Court of Delhi, and Chairperson, Internal Complaints Committee, constituted under the Posh Act, Honorable Mr. Justice Amit Bansal, Judge, High Court of Delhi, and Member, Internal Complaints Committee, Honorable Ms. Justice Neena Bansal Krishna, Judge, High Court of Delhi, and Member, Internal Complaints Committee, Honorable Ms. Justice Tara Vitasta Ganju, Judge, High Court of Delhi, and Member, Internal Complaints Committee, Honorable Ms. Justice Shalinder Kaur, Judge, High Court of Delhi, and Member, Internal Complaints Committee, Honorable Judges of High Court of Delhi, Shri N. Hariharan, Senior Advocate and President, Delhi High Court Bar Association, Shri Rajesh Mishra, Bar Council of Delhi, Shri Chetan Sharma, Learned Additional Solicitor General, Learned Registrar General, High Court of Delhi, and other officers and officials of Delhi High Court, Ms. Aparna Bhat, Senior Advocate and Member, Internal Complaints Committee of Delhi High Court, members of Internal Complaints Committees of Delhi High Court Bar Association and the Bar Council of Delhi, Learned Standing Councils and Panel Councils, members of the Bar, law researchers, media persons, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of High Court of Delhi, I, Gitanjali Goyal, OSD, Rules and Litigation at the High Court of Delhi, feel honored and privileged to welcome you all to this significant and empowering occasion of the launch of portal for complaints of sexual harassment of women at workplace. Sexual harassment of a woman at the workplace is unquestionably a form of discrimination and affront to her dignity. Thus observe the Honorable Supreme Court in the landmark judgment in Vishakha's case. Indeed, a workplace that fails to protect the dignity of women fails the Constitution itself. The importance of ensuring that the workplace is free from sexual harassment is a necessary concomitant of the right to work with dignity and thereby of gender equality. The High Court of Delhi has been at the forefront in following a no-tolerance policy to any kind of sexual harassment at the workplace. The launch of the portal for complaints of sexual harassment of women at workplace today would be another feather in the cap of the High Court of Delhi, which reflects our commitment to creating workplaces that are free from harassment, intimidation, and bias. The said portal is meant to provide a dedicated platform for filing and addressing complaints of sexual harassment of women within the presence of the Delhi High Court in a safe, secure, and confidential manner. Honorable Ms. Justice Prathiba M. Singh, Judge, High Court of Delhi, and Chairperson of the Internal Complaints Committee of the High Court of Delhi, is deeply committed to the cause of making the High Court a safe working place for the women who come here for work or otherwise. ma'am has personally overseen the creation of the portal for complaints of sexual harassment of women at workplace to the last detail. It is due to efforts made by ma'am along with the other honorable members of the Internal Complaints Committee that the launch of the portal has been possible in a very short span. I request ma'am to kindly deliver the welcome address and to give an introduction of the portal for complaints of sexual harassment of women at workplace.
A very good evening. Honorable Justice Kotiswar Singh, Judge Supreme Court of India, and member of the Gender Sensitization and Internal Complaints Committee of the Supreme Court, our own respected Chief Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya, a very warm welcome, sirs. My colleagues from the Internal Complaints Committee, other colleagues who are gathered here, President and office bearers of the Delhi High Court Bar Association and office bearers of the Bar Council of Delhi, the Registrar General and other staff of the Delhi High Court, DHCBA, Bar Council, senior advocates, law researchers, dignitaries, distinguished guests, and a very warm welcome to all of you. I never thought immediately after post-vacation, we will all be working so hard and having a big function like this. Thanks to our Chief Justice. Day before yesterday evening, when I went to him, sir, we need to launch the portal. He said, okay, do it in 2 days. So here we are, 48 hours down the line, and it's a very good feeling that we all have today, that we'll be launching the portal for complaints of sexual harassment, as you'll be seeing today. Just to give an introduction of how this all started, as you all know, and Gitanjali also mentioned, the judgment in Vishaka, given 28 years ago by the Supreme Court, started this journey, where there was a feeling that workplaces have to become more safe and secure for women. And from Vishaka, the guidelines for gender equality came in. Though there was no law at that time, it took almost a decade later, only in 2013, that the law itself came to be enacted. But one major campaign, which we would all remember in 2017, is the Me Too campaign, which also highlighted how several allegations of sexual harassment had been brought in the forefront as part of that campaign. Then came the judgment of Aureliano Fernandez, and I proudly say that it was authored by none other than Justice Ima Kohli from our own court, which led to a large number of second-generation reforms, including sensitization programs and the need for a portal. In fact, the said judgment gave a number of directions which came around the time when the ICC in our court was reconstituted, and that has led to where we are today. Across the country, as you all know, there are several organizations where the constitution of the ICCs has taken place. The Delhi High Court itself, sir, had constituted an ICC for the first time sometime in March of 2014, almost a decade ago. And since then, the ICC has been consisting of various sitting judges of the Delhi High Court, mostly women, with at least one male judge. And it has been working effectively and entertaining complaints of sexual harassment. Presently, we have one chairperson, 4 judges, one senior advocate, Ms. Aparna Bhat, earlier it was Ms. Manindra Acharya, one staff member. So 6 out of the 7 are women, sir. And it actually shows the Delhi High Court's deep institutional commitment to gender equity. As you all are well aware, the Delhi High Court has a large number of women lawyers, litigants, staff members, law researchers, interns who visit and work in the precincts of the Delhi High Court on a daily basis. The existing ICC of the High Court primarily handles complaints against the staff and maybe sometimes against any other persons as well. However, in the working of this ICC, we realized that there was a big gap that needed to be filled. And that's when we requested the Delhi High Court Bar Association. The then executive committee also cooperated with us, and the Bar Council of Delhi, Mr. Mishra also. So now the ICC has worked in close coordination with the Delhi High Court Bar Association and the Bar Council of Delhi. And both the said bodies also now have ICCs. All the members of those ICCs are present here today. Now, what would be the difference and why was there a need to constitute ICCs in these bodies as well? As you all know, there are a large number of women lawyers, litigants, staff of the Delhi High Court Bar Association, and advocates who may not even be members of the Delhi High Court Bar Association who come regularly to the Delhi High Court. If there is a complaint against a lawyer, for example, who is a member of the Delhi High Court Bar Association, then the complaint has to go to the DHCBA ICC. If it is a non-member of the DHCBA, it can go to the Bar Council of Delhi. If it's a staff of the Delhi High Court, or if it is any law researcher who is working in the Delhi High Court, the complaint may have to come to the Delhi High Court ICC. Now, the question is, one who is facing sexual harassment or who has faced sexual harassment does not know where to go. And that is the question that this portal deems to answer. And the facility that is being provided is for women to be able to go on a common portal and to choose the proper ICC to whom the complaint can be filed and integrate the same with the Delhi High Court ICC. That's the small endeavor that we've been able to, we are able to achieve today. And as you all know, the Delhi High Court has its own ICC and the district courts have their own ICC. So a collection of data would show that in the last 10 years, there have been about 17 complaints which have been entertained by the Delhi High Court ICC, and district courts, there have been about 20 to 30 complaints. But it doesn't mean that there are only that many complaints. There may have been various other women who have not been able to file their complaints in a confidential manner. During our experience in the ICC, in the Delhi High Court, we realized that there is a hesitation among women to physically go and file complaints as well. So therefore, that is the problem that this portal intends to solve, which we hope will solve. Some of the steps which, as part of the ICC with me and my colleagues, we've been able to take in the last 1.5 years is expedited, disposal of ICC complaints. There's some steps taken for protection of privacy and timely resolution. We've used technological innovation wherever there was a need to use, for example, video clippings, audio clippings, WhatsApp chats. So we've got them authenticated from proper sources, from forensic laboratories. We've also conducted Posh sensitization. One of the biggest things that we realized during the ICC proceedings was that most of the complaints arise out of misunderstanding or a lack of sensitivity towards the terminology that can be used towards colleagues. Sometimes men or even women may use language which may not be acceptable, but they don't know that it is not an acceptable language. So we felt that sensitization is one of the best ways in which this can be done. So in the months of March and April last year, we've organized sensitization programs over 2 days for more than 900 staff members in the Delhi High Court. And believe you me, it has actually led to lesser filing of complaints after that, because men have become more sensitive towards colleagues and how to deal, how to speak, what is the body language that one can use with women. And most of the times it is only misunderstanding. One of the other challenge that we faced was the quantum of time that the ICC was to spend on each of these complaints. So there was a need felt that we should have our own guidelines of the Delhi High Court, which could also be adopted by the Delhi High Court Bar Association and the Bar Council of Delhi, so that a uniform kind of system is in place. So a subcommittee consisting of Justice Neena Bansal, Justice Tara, and Justice Shalinder Kaur was formed to draft those guidelines. And with the help of Gitanjali, who is here before you all, the guidelines have also been finalized, and we hope to upload them maybe early next week itself, because it's pending approval. Okay. So Chief must have approved it just today. So thank you, Chief. So this subcommittee has worked hard, spent a lot of time in finalizing the guidelines, and the guidelines should show a way in which we can deal with complaints in an expedited manner. One of the most important things, even which the Honorable Chief Justice also highlighted when I had an interaction with him 2 days ago, was that there was a need for mediation and conciliation, though it is part of the statute. a lot of times one does not use it actually. And mediation needs to be a part of sexual harassment complaints, because a lot of ego issues which colleagues may have with each other, which may have converted into a sexual harassment complaint, can get sorted if mediation and conciliation is used. So what is the portal about, and how are we going to use this portal? As I already said, this will be an integrated portal where if one visits, you will be able to decide as to where you need to file the complaint, whether with the Delhi High Court or with the Delhi High Court Bar Association or with the Bar Council of Delhi. How do you determine where the complaint will go? The determination is on the basis not of the complainant, but of the respondent. So the person against whom the complaint is to be filed determines where the complaint goes, under which ICC. So if it is a staff of the Delhi High Court, it obviously goes into the filing portal of the Delhi High Court. If it is a Delhi High Court Bar Association member, it goes into the DHCBA. It also, if it is not a Delhi High Court Bar Association member, it goes to the Bar Council of Delhi. There are various tabs which are provided. The complainants can actually, online from the comfort of their home or office, file a complaint. There is a nodal officer who has been appointed by the Delhi High Court. The web portal has different features like FAQs, rules and guidelines, circulars, legal assistance. Wherever the complainant feels that the complainant does not have enough proper understanding, the DHC LSC with Shefali, who is here, has worked hard. There is a proper cell. A woman complainant can contact and say, okay, please guide me as to where the complaint is to be filed. During the process of hearings of complaints also, we realized that the complainants need to talk to someone. So we have appointed a amicus curiae as well to guide the complainants in the process of filing of complaints. The complaint is fully confidential. The allegations are confidential. See, while we are focusing on women filing sexual harassment complaints, the other experience that we all felt was a number of men who face these complaints are also facing it wrongfully. So that is one reason why we have to be very careful when these complaints are filed, that we conduct a preliminary inquiry, speak to the petitioner confidentially, speak to the respondent confidentially. If we do not find anything in the complaint at the preliminary stage itself, we have closed a number of complaints. And believe you me, there could be various extraneous considerations also which lead to filing of such complaints, which the ICC is very conscious about when dealing with such complaints. The complainant also has the facility to save the complaint and come back, think about it, and then submit it. So it's like, I don't know if you've all experienced a visa application. You can actually save it. It will be confidential. Then you can come back, think about it, and then finally submit or not submit it. So these are some of the features of the portal itself. Some of the challenges which I personally felt while dealing with ICC complaints is that, of course, there is a huge amount of time that sitting judges have to spend on ICC complaints because trials take a long time. Inquiries become like, because a large number of the staff against whom complaints are filed are governed by the CCS and CCA rules. So we don't know how to solve this problem because it could lead to a major penalty or not lead to a penalty. So those inquiries are quite long drawn. CPC applies, Evidence Act applies, and they do consume a lot of time. We need to find some solution to this. Secondly, as I said, some complaints are genuine and some are not genuine. And I also feel that sexual harassment now need not be restricted only to women complainants, but could also be extended to men and to all persons with different sexual orientations as well. So there may be a need for change in the legislation over here. And with all these challenges, I feel that there was a need for a portal, and this is just a small step, but could be a giant step towards sexual harassment, dealing with sexual harassment. And as Gitanjali said, it is my honor and privilege on behalf of the ICC, my colleagues, and the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court to welcome all of you today for this event. This portal marks a crucial milestone in our collective journey to ensure a safe, inclusive, and dignified workplace for all, especially for women. It represents not just a technological innovation, but a reaffirmation of our commitment to the values enshrined in the Posh Act. I would specifically like to recognize the contribution of Ms. Gitanjali and the IT team, especially of Zamim, who've been able to put together these guidelines and the portal at such a short notice. I once again welcome you all for the launch of this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. As ma'am has said, this portal will without doubt go a long way in giving voice to women who may face sexual harassment and giving meaning to what was said by Michelle Bachelet, former UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, that a safe workplace is not a privilege, it is a fundamental right. We are privileged to have here with us as a chief guest Honorable Mr. Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, Judge, Supreme Court of India, who has been a member of the Supreme Court Gender Sensitization and Internal Complaints Committee since September 2024, as was mentioned by ma'am. The said committee is headed by Honorable Ms. Justice B.V. Nagaratna, Judge, Supreme Court, and under her guidance, the committee has taken several initiatives for furthering gender equality and promoting gender sensitization. In line with the same, the National Judicial Academy is organizing a national conference on effective implementation of Posh Act 2013 on 5th and 6th July 2025. The presence of Honorable Mr. Justice N. Koteshwar Singh here today is particularly meaningful as his lordship has consistently emphasized the need for a just, inclusive and safe society where the rule of law safeguards the rights and dignity of every citizen. I now request his lordship and Honorable Mr. Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya, Chief Justice, High Court of Delhi, to kindly launch the portal. I request Shri Zameem Ahmed Khan to kindly come up for the launch of the portal. I also request other honorable dignitaries on the dais and Honorable Ms. Justice Tara Vitasta Ganju to kindly join in the launch of the portal. Thank you. Now we will watch a short video on the working of the portal, and I request Honorable Ms. Justice Tara Vitasta Ganju, Judge, High Court of Delhi, to kindly explain the working of the portal.
Good evening. The newly launched Sexual Harassment Complaint Portal is integrated with the website of the Delhi High Court. The link to the portal is available on the home page itself as you scroll towards the footer of the page. As you can see, as you scroll down on the right hand side, you have the tab for the sexual harassment complaints. Once you click on the Sexual Harassment Complaint tab, the complaint portal page opens up. The first thing you see is the three tabs: Staff of Delhi High Court Contractual, Regular and Contractual, Delhi High Court Bar Association and Bar Council of Delhi. The first tab is for permanent and contractual employees of this court. To file a complaint, you will click on the Filing of Complaints tab and enter your details. Along with your mobile number, which will then be verified with an OTP. The second tab will take you directly to the web page of the Delhi High Court Bar Association. And once you're on this page, you can file a complaint here as well. The third tab will take you to the Bar Council of Delhi page to file a complaint. The Bar Council of Delhi has named this the Tejasvi complaint portal. As stated by Honorable Ms. Justice Prathiba Singh, the selection of the link would be based on the information on who the respondent is working with or is registered with, as the case may be. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The launch of the portal reflects a commitment to fostering workplaces where dignity, equality, and safety of all are non-negotiable. I now invite Shri N. Hariharan, Senior Advocate and President of the Delhi High Court Bar Association, to kindly give his remarks.
Honorable Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, Judge Supreme Court of India. Honorable Mr. Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya, Chief Justice, Delhi High Court. Honorable Justice Prathiba Singh, Chairperson, Internal Complaints Committee. All Honorable Judges of the Internal Complaints Committee. All other Honorable Judges of this court. Esteemed members of the bar, dignitaries, guests, and my friends. Good evening. It is an honor to address you today on an issue which sits at the intersection of law, dignity, and social transformation, gender sensitization, and prevention of sexual harassment at the workplace, commonly known as Posh. As officers of the court and custodians of the Constitution, we all are aware that gender justice is not just a principle. It is a constitutional mandate. The Supreme Court of India, through Vishaka versus State of Rajasthan, the judgment delivered 28 years ago, in 1997, filled a legislative vacuum at that time, laying down Vishaka guidelines, which formed the very foundation of the Posh Act in 2013. Sexual harassment at the workplace is not just a violation of personal dignity. It strikes at the foundation of equality and trust. As members of the legal community, we carry a special responsibility to ensure that every woman, whether an advocate, a court staff member, or any stakeholder, feels protected, heard, and empowered. The launch of this dedicated portal for complaints of sexual harassment at the workplace is far more than unveiling of a technological tool. It is a deep moral step, a structural affirmation that voices of women must be heard, believed, and acted upon with urgency and fairness. Sexual harassment, as I said, is a violation of trust and personal safety. The very idea that every individual deserves to work in an environment of free of intimidation and fear. And when that fear takes root in the corridors of justice, in courts, law chambers, or courtrooms, the consequences can especially be very grave. Far too long, silences have been forced as a companion of many women in many fields, including that of our community. Often complaints have gone unspoken because the systems meant to protect them have felt inaccessible, opaque, or ineffective. That changes today. This portal is an attempt to bring light to these dark spaces, to provide a safe, confidential, and structured platform where complaints can be made without fear of exposure or prejudice. It empowers women by simplifying access to justice within the workplace and reinforces the seriousness with which we must treat every allegation. The words of Ruth Ginsburg comes to one's mind when she said, "Women belong to all places where decisions are being made." These are inspiring lines, but we also need to create an environment that these lines take effect. And I believe that this is a first step towards that direction. Having said that, as members of the bar, we are not just professionals, we are gatekeepers of justice. And justice, if it is to mean anything at all, must begin at home, within our courts, our chambers, and our associations. Let us not wait for incidents to remind us of the importance of action. Let us be proactive in building a culture where dignity is valued, where complaints are addressed swiftly and sensitively, and where every woman, whether a judge, a lawyer, a clerk, or an intern, feels safe, heard, and respected. On behalf of the Delhi High Court Bar Association, I pledge our full support to this initiative. We will do our part through awareness, cooperation, and accountability to ensure that this is not just a portal, but a promise. A promise that no voice will go unheard and no injustice will go unseen. I commend the Internal Complaints Committee and the High Court of Delhi for this bold and progressive step. The Delhi High Court of Bar Association fully supports this initiative and stands committed to its implementation, both in letter and spirit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insights, which are certain to enrich this occasion, and for highlighting that sexual harassment strikes at the foundation of trust, dignity, and safety, and thereby signifying the highlighting the significance of the initiative of launching the portal, and also extending your cooperation in this initiative. I now request Shri Rajesh Mishra, Bar Council of Delhi, to kindly give his remarks.
Honorable Mr. Justice Kotiswar and Kotiswar Singh, Judge Supreme Court of India. Honorable Mr. Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya, Chief Justice Delhi High Court. Honorable Ms. Justice Prathiba M. Singh, Chairperson, ICC Delhi High Court. Honorable Mr. Justice Amit Bansal, Member, ICC DSC. Member, Honorable Ms. Justice Neena Bansal Krishna, Member, ICC Delhi High Court. Honorable Ms. Justice Dharavi Ganju, Member, ICC Delhi High Court. Honorable Ms. Justice Shalinder Kaur, Member, ICC Delhi High Court. Other honorable judges of this prestigious High Court, Mr. Chetan Sharma, Additional Solicitor General of India, Mr. N. Hariharan, President, Delhi High Court Bar Association, Mr. Sachin Puri, and Mr. Vikram Singh Pawar, Honorary Secretary, Delhi High Court Bar Association and Vice President, and other executive members of Delhi High Court Bar Association, learned senior advocates, members of the bar, and young colleagues, members of print and electronic media. A very good evening to all of you. At the very outset, let me thank all of you for taking precious time out of your busy schedule to grace this occasion. It is indeed my proud privilege to get this opportunity to welcome you all on this momentous occasion where we shall be witnessing yet another achievement by Delhi High Court as well as Bar Council of Delhi called Tejasvi. Tejasvi is an online portal established by Bar Council of Delhi under the aegis of Internal Complaints Committee of Delhi High Court to provide a confidential, structured, and fair mechanism for addressing sexual harassment complaints by women at workplace. The portal reflects the aim and commitment of the Bar Council of Delhi to foster a safe, dignified, and harassment-free work environment for all its female lawyers and staff. On behalf of Bar Council of Delhi, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the committee members, Honorable Ms. Justice Prathiba M. Singh, Chairperson ICC, Honorable Mr. Justice Amit Bansal, Honorable Ms. Justice Neena Bansal Krishna, Honorable Ms. Justice Dharavi Ganju, and Honorable Ms. Justice Shalinder Kaur, who are the force behind the initiative for prevention, prohibition, and redressal of sexual harassment of women at workplace. A special thanks to Honorable Ms. Justice Prathiba M. Singh, Chairperson ICC Committee for her initiative to convert the dream of having ICC Committee into a reality. It has been a wonderful experience in working under the guidance and the leadership of the Honorable ICC Committee members of Delhi High Court. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to ICC Committee members of Bar Council of Delhi, Senior Advocate Ms. Pinky Anand, Chairperson ICC, Mr. Darpan Vadwa, Senior Advocate, Ms. Sarita Kapoor, Ms. Kaveri Birbal, Ms. Bandana Kaur Grover, Ms. Anuja Kapoor, members ICC Bar Council of Delhi, for their tireless effort in making the portal Tejasvi possible. With the launch of Tejasvi under the aegis of ICC Committee of Delhi High Court, the Bar Council of Delhi sincerely hopes that it is a step closer in achieving its aim of ensuring a healthy working environment for women that is secure and free from any kind of sexual harassment or abuse. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your meaningful words. Honorable Mr. Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya, Chief Justice, High Court of Delhi, in his short span as the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, has infused a new dynamism in the working of the judiciary in Delhi. His Lordship's journey through the Indian legal and judicial system has been marked by an unwavering commitment to constitutional values. Known for his calm demeanor, clear judgments, and empathetic approach to justice delivery, his Lordship has always stood for the protection of individual dignity and fairness in process. His Lordship has always been there to guide and mentor us and has led from the forefront whenever any issue comes up. I now request His Lordship to kindly deliver his address.
Honorable Justice Kotiswar Singh, Judge Supreme Court of India and member of Gender Sensitization and Internal Complaints Committee of the Supreme Court. Justice Prathiba M. Singh, Chairperson of the Internal Complaints Committee, other members of the said committee, my colleagues on the bench, the President and Office Bearers of High Court, Delhi High Court Bar Association and Office Bearers of Bar Council of Delhi, Registrar General and other staff members of the Registry of Delhi High Court, senior advocates, law researchers, other advocates, dignitaries, and all distinguished guests present here. Very good morning and namaskar. First of all, let me express my gratitude and thankfulness to Justice Kotiswar Singh, who has been gracious enough to be part of this small function where Delhi High Court is launching today an online portal for complaints in these matters. About the initiatives taken by Delhi High Court, a lot has been said by my predecessor speakers, especially Justice Prathiba M. Singh. 2 or 3 things I would like to say on this occasion. See, Vishakha judgment was rendered by Honorable Supreme Court in 1997. There has been a bit of debate in the legal circles as to whether the judiciary is empowered to sometimes encroach into the arena of legislature or not. So this is one of the finest examples where need of the hour impels us, the judiciary, even to enter into that area, and that based on Vishakha guidelines given by Honorable Supreme Court, the entire regime worked for how many years? 16 long years. The Parliament, even after our recommendation made by the Honorable Supreme Court, took 16 years for framing this law and coming up with this act in 2013. This is one thing. Secondly, this act talks about prevention, prohibition, and redressal. 3 things: prevention, prohibition, and redressal. So far as redressal is concerned, there is a complete scheme in the act provided. A statutory scheme is provided where we have Internal Complaints Committee and other local committees for redressal of such grievances at all working places, all establishment, be it a private establishment like the Bar Council or Bar Association of respective courts or high courts, or the government organizations or the state institutions. So we have Internal Complaints Committee or the local committee constituted by the administration of the area. So this act, along with the rules, gives us a complete code as to how to seek redressal in such matters. But so far as prevention and prohibition is concerned, that is also one of the aspects which generally we tend to forget. Now the slogan these days by the Government of India is Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. On one such occasion when I was speaking in a seminar conducted by the Indian Law Society Law School at Pune, what I said was that slogan should be Beti Bachao, Beta Padhao. Now the sons need to be sensitized more perhaps. You have to, that is one of the things which just occurred to my mind. And secondly, the kind of society we live in, the the nature of evolution in which our society has evolved. Because of the nature of evolution, because of so many cultural and social reasons, we are many a times in a denial mode. We do not feel that any such thing is happening at my home, in my neighborhood, at my workplace, or any other place. We always tend to deny that any such thing can happen. This is not because we want to deny it, but only because of our upbringing, and the reasons, as I said, are socio-cultural. So we have to break this denial mode. And for that, the sensitization programs, as has been undertaken by our High Court, we have been able to conduct certain functions where at least 900 judicial officers have been sensitized, judicial officers and other staffs. So this is also one of the most relevant aspects of the matter, which in our just to implement the redressal part of the Act, we tend to forget. Third thing about, I have been part of the Internal Complaints Committee at Allahabad High Court at Lucknow. I have come across many such matters. Now, these days we talk about pre-litigation mediation. So this is what I pointed out to Justice Prathiba Singh. Section 10 states that conciliation should be attempted to before conducting the inquiry under Section 11. So that is very, very important, of course, with the consent of the complainant, or if the complainant asks. So this becomes one of the duties of the Internal Complaints Committee, to first try the conciliation and then take up the matter further by conducting the inquiry. Now, why I am saying so? Many a times, these complaints are not in the nature of complaints regarding sexual harassment. For a complaint to constitute a complaint of sexual harassment, there are certain ingredients given in the Act. Grievance will be elsewhere, but it is sometimes given and this is done not on account of any malafide by the complainant, but because of the lack of proper understanding as to what is the scope of this Act. So in that context, depending on the contents of the complaint, I would urge the Internal Complaints Committee of the High Court, that of the Bar Council, as also of the Delhi High Court Bar Association, to kindly see Section 10 first, try a conciliation. Conciliation will not happen in terms of Section 10 without the consent of the complainant. So there is nothing like there is nothing in the process of trying for a conciliation which may prejudice the cause of the complainant in case the complaint is in relation to sexual harassment. So this is also a relevant aspect which I thought I would draw attention to of the ICC committees. Apart from this, we perhaps as a society in general, first of all, need to change our mindset. That is very, very important. That is very, very important. Why are we out of 100 such matters coming to our notice, in 90, we are in a denial mode, always. So this mindset needs to be changed. And I congratulate the chairperson of the Internal Complaints Committee of the High Court and other members to have come up with this portal. This will go a long way. The beauty of this portal is that irrespective of the forum where the complaint is to be made, anyone associated with the working of the court can go to this portal, and complaint will automatically be directed either to the High Court's Internal Complaints Committee or to the Internal Complaints Committee of the Delhi High Court Bar Association or the Bar Council of India. So using this portal will make access to seek redressal under this Act more easy to the complainants. This is the most important aspect of this portal, and it will be utilized by all concerned. I must also thank and express my gratitude to the chairperson of the Delhi High Court Bar Association and also the member of Delhi Bar Council present here, who have been cooperative in our effort to strengthen the system for redressal of the complaints under this Act. With these words, I seek your leave. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom and for leading us from the front in the launch of this portal. Your enlightening address will go a long way in inspiring us, and indeed, the need of the hour is Beti Bachao, Beta Padhao to bring about a change in the society. Honorable Mr. Justice N. Koteshwar Singh, Judge, Supreme Court of India, is known for his clarity of thought, an unwavering sense of justice, and a humanistic vision with a deep commitment to ensuring equal access to justice for all. Sir, your presence today at the launch of the portal for complaints of sexual harassment of women at workplace reiterates the immense importance of this initiative, and we are sure that the portal would accomplish the objectives with which it has been launched today. I now request His Lordship to kindly motivate us with his words of encouragement.
A very good evening to everyone present here. Honorable Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Sri Devendra Upadhyaya ji, Justice Prathiba, Singh, Justice Amit Bansal of Delhi High Court, members of the ICC, Delhi High Court, Sri N. Hariharan, Senior Advocate and President of the Delhi High Court Bar Association, Mr. Rajesh Mishra, Bar Council of India, all others Honorable Judges of Delhi High Court, members of the ICC, Committee of Delhi High Court, Senior Advocates, lawyers, members of the registry, ladies and gentlemen. Today's function of launching this portal for filing complaints on sexual harassment by Delhi High Court is indeed a very important step. Though it looks like a small step, nevertheless, as we say, every journey, long journey has to start with the first step. Not that Delhi High Court has not done anything. Already much has been done, as has been explained by the previous speakers. But this is indeed a very important step for the purpose, for the pure purpose that it enhances confidentiality and confidence on the people, apart from transparency. The Visakhapatnam judgment of 1997, which you all know, marked a new milestone in Indian jurisprudence on how law can be used not only for tackling social evils, but also transform the society. As we all know, the triggering point was the rape of a social worker. However, the court proceeded to examine various facets of the problem, these impediments and various hurdles faced by women in workplaces, thanks to a group of public-spirited organizations and persons, individuals, which led the Supreme Court to lay down a detailed guidelines, as mentioned by Chief Justice also. One of the first, in fact, this used to be a classic example of how judiciary can fashion. And there, of course, a criticism also that the judiciary is encroaching upon the legislative field of the legislature. But as mentioned, all clarified again and again, that yes, if you are able to provide a basic framework, there is no harm for the court to lay down the ground, and it has become part of our jurisprudence. The courts continue to do it by issuing directions from time to time. This is an example of the reservation of women in Delhi Bar Council or various metropolitan cities. It is not an enactment by anybody. It all came from the courts also. So these are very progressive, constructive role played by the court. And we all know that, yes, mentioned also that it took a long time for the Parliament to enact this act, which we shortly call Posh. A workplace should be a place of opportunity and accomplishments and creativity, not a place generating fear, anxiety. Workplaces must provide the respect for dignity of the individuals, and equal opportunity for all. Any such act which negates the conducive atmosphere for work obviously has to be forbidden, not tolerated. As far as women are concerned, there is nothing so grievous or humiliating as a sexual harassment. It demeans women, acts as a barrier to her creativity, slows down the efficacy, causing immense mental and physical trauma, which is completely antithetical to the ennobling principles of equality, liberty and justice, which form the core values of our Constitution. Therefore, this menace has to be tackled head-on. And it is from this perspective that lies the importance and significance of this act. And also it assumes importance from the fact that today, large number of women are joining and becoming valuable partners in a nation-building exercise, contributing meaningfully in all walks of life, not confined to traditionally considered suitable only for women, and which were exclusive reserve of the male. Just an example. Today, as we see in almost all high courts, in a matter of recruitment in a district judiciary, we see that the number of lady judges being recruited is more than males. The average perhaps ranges from 40 to 70%. In fact, I used to joke sometimes that the male species is going to vanish from Indian judiciary as far as the district judiciary is concerned. Which is enormous contribution now played by women, not only in judiciary, but all, even lawyers also. A large number of, as I see, when I address the universities, I see a large number of girl students, and they're doing wonderfully. Interns also, I just see the number of interns, I see the list. The female interns outnumber the males. So there is a paradigm shift going on, taking place. Therefore, it is incumbent on all of us to ensure that the workplace remains safe, secure, encouraging, not plagued by these insidious practices. It is not an easy task to do away with these practices, because the sexual harassment is not an act perpetrated by one individual on another. In fact, it is a result of a misogynistic, patriarchal, feudalistic ideas, male chauvinistic ideas which still prevail in the mind of many, who consider that the role of women to be confined only in the domestic sphere, which again I say is antithetical to our core constitutional values of equality, liberty, justice, and dignity of the individual. Apart from this, I mean, since I am addressing in Delhi, but if you see the all India perspective, the cultural difference, the mindset still stark. Delhi perhaps represents a mini India. Today, all communities, all over the country, you find representation in Delhi, in all walks of life in Delhi. To that extent, Delhi is uniquely placed to act as a beacon, as a shining example of various activities movements. In fact, as I can see earlier, the 3 high courts, the chartered high courts of Bombay, Calcutta, Madras, used to be the leading institutions. 4th also, Allahabad, sorry. But for historical reasons, now Delhi is coming in the forefront. Perhaps because it is located in the capital of the city. That's why the focused attention Delhi High Court gets is something unparalleled. From that perspective also, that the importance of Delhi High Court can be understood. If we are able to develop this a movement, strengthen this movement, and Delhi can be an example, certainly I feel, and the host of talented people in this city, I'm sure it is going to trickle down other parts of the country also. From my experience, this Posh Act, though talked about in all parts of the country, is something really not seeped in the system. There are very few high courts who have constituted and actively engaged in these various aspects of the redressal mechanism of the Act. There are many high courts where this hardly function, though it is there on paper. There is hardly any complaint. Now, of course, one may say, if there is no complaint, one may assume that there is no such sexual harassment. That takes me to my student days when we had taught criminal law. The professor of criminal law, Dr. Professor Menon, he mentioned, see, in Bombay, the number of crimes reported is so much. Of course, I won't name that other city. But in this particular city, the number of crimes reported is this much. You think that that city, there is less crime in that city? Of course, there were different answers. And what is to be understood is that why the number of cases registered in Bombay is because perhaps they are more receptive, reactive, perceptive to the problems. There is more investigation done. And maybe perhaps in the other city, people don't have that much of confidence to approach the concerned police station. So these are, what I'm trying to say is that while Posh Act has been understood in most of the jurisdiction, yet people, the number of cases being handled varies from high courts to high courts. Even in Supreme Court also, I mean, I will not go in detail because there are some sensitive cases being handled. What I found was that this particularly confined to lawyers' community. So there is a big responsibility on the Bar Council, Delhi Bar Association, to see that the redressal mechanism is properly put in place and the mechanism is indeed made functional, and to get the confidence of the people, obviously, it has to be more transparent, speedy. These are not, of course, very easy things as anybody can say. These are perceptive issues. And one of the most important things I feel is this whole issue of gender sensitization, which the Posh Act acts to address through three aspects. Number one, prevention, prohibition, and redressal. Prevention is equally important. As I mentioned, we still live in a difficult, we have a society whose mindset has not changed much. There is need to sensitize the people that there are certain acts which are prohibited. There are certain acts which cannot be tolerated. And it is not, again I say, gender sensitization is not an easy process. It's a part of that upbringing, part of the community living, part of the society's perception about itself. Every community has its own perception. Every society has its own perception of looking at women, how they perceive. These are big challenges. It is not an easy task. Yet, there must be continuous attempt to sensitize as to the, and that the bedrock, what would be the standard with obviously the constitutional standard, which has to be uniform for everybody, irrespective of the community, irrespective of the history, tradition, our society's societal values. Because only the constitutional value is that which is acceptable and which can provide an equal platform for all. I say so because India is such a huge country. I have come from the northeast. I have traveled various parts of the country. I have lived in different societies, though not very long, but experience how diverse the views are of society, of everything. Therefore, you can imagine the diverse views of women also. A society may think that, well, women should do this. This is the best way a woman should behave in public, in private. You should wear this particular kind of dress. This is the most acceptable. Well, I cannot comment on that. But when it comes to the equality clause, we have to invoke the constitutional values, Article 14, Article 15, Article 19, 21, which will be the measure, the criteria on which basis our concepts, ideas about everything, including women, has to be tested. As I mentioned again, the three aspects of the Act: prevention, prohibition, and redressal. As far as prohibition is concerned, more or less, the law provides that what are those acts which are considered of an offensive nature, which needs to be prohibited. But what about this redressal mechanism? Well, again, law provides formation of ICC. Unfortunately, if we go beyond Indian judicial system, most of the public organization, forget the organization, states also, departments, they don't have this mechanism. In fact, there is a PIL pending in Supreme Court. We have sought for information as to how many departments has the ICC. Are they functional? They are in namesake. Because I am saying because these are a serious implication for the complainants. Because I mentioned again, it has been spoken by the speakers also, that one has to come forward and make the complaint. One should not shy off. But why do you make the complaint? Are you assured that your complaint will be treated with the promptness it deserves or the effectiveness which is required to be done? There are issues. That is why the onus is more on us right now as most of the high courts have already embarked upon this exercise, to lay that, to lead the path. Therefore, it is also equally important that those who are the helm of affairs, especially implementation of the Act, they must themselves believe. This is an act is not merely a semi kind of criminal kind of act. It is something, as mentioned earlier also, it is transactional. It is a multi-layered act, not involving certain prohibitive acts, but involving our cultural attitude, our mindset, our approach towards the other gender. From that point of view, those who are tasked to implement this act needs to convince themselves. If you take it very lightly, obviously, your complaint is going to be not taken seriously. A doctor who treats must believe in the system, and a doctor who prescribes his medicine must also believe in the efficacy of the medicine. Those members of the ICC, they must genuinely believe in the efficacy of the system. Only then we will be able to pursue those matters, consider those complaints in a manner it is expected to be done, which will only create a confidence, because without a confidence, because the entire system, as we all talk about as members of the judiciary, the strength of the Indian judiciary lies in the confidence reposed by the people. The same standard, same logic. There must be full confidence of the victims in this ICC. How do you ensure that confidence level? This is a very big challenge before us. As also mentioned, again, one of the greatest challenges is a deep-rooted cultural resistance in acknowledging certain acts as sexual harassment. In fact, many organizations see this complaint of sexual harassment as a threat to their reputation, rather than providing opportunities of growth to his employees. The stigma that the complainants endure in the frequent dismissal of inappropriate behavior as mere joking, light-hearted banter, and the power dynamics between men and women in workplaces contribute greatly to the culture of silence and fear. This is something which has to be addressed at the institutional level. And as far as male are concerned, obviously it is important to understand what makes a female counterpart uncomfortable, either with the use of certain words or the acts. We have to learn to respect any discomfort expressed by the women by resorting to appropriate behavior, which may include maintaining the appropriate physical distance, avoiding using certain words and expressions, and certain, of course, which has been already clearly mentioned in the Act. It is also equally important for menfolk to extend their help and cooperation to the women whenever they face any such kind of inappropriate behavior from the menfolk. I would say that not only cooperation, but an empathetic attitude. Certainly not sympathy, because what women requires is not an act of charity, but it is our solemn obligation for all of us to ensure the dignity of women. Similarly, women obviously has to come forward without any hesitation, report without the fear of being stigmatized, as the Act itself provides sufficient safeguards. Therefore, these are areas of concern. How to make women come forward? Because unless the complaint is forthcoming, how do we address? How and why should a woman come forward unless she has the confidence in the system? How the confidence will be generated? Only by the act of those who are in helm of affairs. Therefore, this is a very, what I would say, a complex relationship, not only touching upon the legal knowledge of provision, but understanding human psychology. That is why it is important also that our idea is not to take to the logical end of penalizing somebody, because this can act for both the victim as well as the accused, perpetrator of such offensive act, in a serious social spotlight. See, something both want to avoid. Nobody wants to highlight the kind of experiences she has undergone. At the same time, the perpetrator also would not like it to be made public. Therefore, all the anonymity, the confidentiality, maintaining of confidentiality is another very important aspect which we must all be concerned of. It is in that context that today's program, launching of this portal, I feel is very, very significant. First of all, as mentioned also, you can lodge a complaint from your private arena without being seen in public place that yes, he is going to the office or the ICC committee office to complain. The anonymity is assured. It is so important. And of course, one can see from this portal also what action has been taken. I can understand that the details may not be provided, but the steps being taken will be certainly reflected. And I also mentioned by other speakers also, the speedy resolution is very important. That also will be reflected. Personally, I feel that yes, before we go, as mentioned by Dr. Upadhyaya also, that conciliation is something very important. Otherwise, if you go whole hog, full hog, like a trial, you see, it's going to hurt both the sides. It's not a very pleasant exercise. Therefore, in my view, then all attempts must be made to reconcile if possible, to bring about a settlement, and make the perpetrator of such an offensive act understand that this is something not to be repeated. We are not interested in penalizing as such, but bring about a change that this should not be done. It is not something which inhibits the potential of another person. And we have a responsibility to see that we do not create such an environment. This is my personal perception, of course. Of course, there are allegations also that fear, apprehension that it may be misused. There is a possibility, and it has happened. Our past experience shows when Dowry Prohibition Act was introduced. I remember in the 80s when we were students, we hear all this every day in the newspaper. We see these burning cases, which prompted the legislation to enact this Dowry Prohibition Act. Yes, it has reduced to a great extent, but at the same time we see false allegations being made. Same with DV case also, domestic violence also. That's what we see from experience, from the cases we see. So this is something which we have to be careful. Making false allegation is equally, dangerous, which will compromise with the system. This is something which we have to take care. As I mentioned earlier also, that there are very few high courts we are actively engaged in this redressal mechanism, and Delhi High Court remains, as from my information which I received, has done exceedingly well, just like we have done in the movement for strengthening the movement mediation. Delhi High Court has done wonderful. Arbitration, you are leading also. There are other high courts, so please don't mind that other high courts have not done. Yes, so the Delhi High Court is uniquely placed, being the capital of India, to lead it. And with this small step, it may appear to be, but certainly it will go a long run in strengthening this movement for making workplace a safe environment where women, which are increasingly coming in public sphere, will have the confidence, will get a necessary impetus, which will not come in the way of their creativity in participating in a nation-building exercise which is being undertaken. With these few words, I would like to thank again the Delhi High Court and also for inviting me on this occasion to share my view on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Lordship, for your inspirational address and for underlining that workplace should be a place for opportunity and not be plagued by insidious practices such as sexual harassment. It is now time for us to express our gratitude to all who have contributed in making this program a success. While we are extremely grateful to Honorable Mr. Justice Amit Bansal, Judge High Court of Delhi and Member Internal Complaints Committee for his efforts and guidance in organizing this program, I now request His Lordship to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
Honorable Mr. Justice Kotiswar Singh, Judge Supreme Court of India and our Chief Guest this afternoon, Honorable Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Shri Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya, my Justice Prathiba M. Singh, the Chairperson of the Internal Complaints Committee of the Delhi High Court, my colleagues from the Internal Complaints Committee, Delhi High Court, esteemed colleagues from the bench, Registrar General and other officials of the Delhi High Court, President and other office bearers of the Delhi High Court Bar Association and Bar Council of Delhi, members of the bar, law researchers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I consider it my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on the inaugural ceremony of the Posh Complaint Filing Portal, which has now been integrated with the official website of the Delhi High Court. The Posh Complaint Filing Portal is more than a procedural development. It would provide a safe, secure and confidential medium for filing complaints under the Posh Act. The portal would act as a commitment that every voice will be heard and every concern will be addressed with sensitivity and seriousness. At the outset, I extend my deepest gratitude to Honorable Mr. Justice N. Kotiswar Singh for sparing his valuable time to join us today. Sir, your profound words have reaffirmed our collective commitment to ensure safety, dignity, and equality for every individual in the workplace. Your remarks about the increasing participation of women in the legal field and need for a safe work environment are well taken. Before I proceed further, I would request Justice Prathiba Singh and Justice Vitasta Ganju to kindly felicitate the Honorable Chief Guest as a token of our sincere appreciation. I am also deeply thankful to the Honorable Chief Justice of Delhi High Court for his encouragement for this initiative for the benefit of all stakeholders. Sir, your remarks on the importance of sensitization of all members of the society are well appreciated. I'd now like to request Justice Neena Bansal Krishna and Justice Shalinder Kaur to kindly felicitate the Honorable Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court. Next, I'd like to thank all my colleagues from the Delhi High Court who took out time to be present here today. I would also like to take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks to the Registrar General of the High Court and his team, the Registrar Vigilance, Ms. Gitanjali Goyal, the entire team of the IT department. I would also like to thank the General Administrative Branch of Delhi High Court, headed by the Registrar Ms. Vandana Kairon and her team, Ms. Shafali Sharma, the Secretary, Delhi High Court Legal Services Committee. I would also like to acknowledge the efforts put in by the entire team of the Internal Complaints Committee, headed by Justice Prathiba Singh, the Chairperson, including Ms. Radha Chawla, the law researcher attached to the ICC. Their dedication has brought this initiative to life. I would also like to thank the President of Delhi High Court Bar Association, Mr. Hariharan, Senior Advocate, Mr. Rajesh Mishra, Secretary, Bar Council of Delhi. Their cooperation enabled the integration of the filing of the Posh complaints portals on their respective websites with the official website of the Delhi High Court to create one consolidated platform. I would also like to express my thanks to all advocates, court officials, and staff members present here today. Your participation signifies the shared responsibility we bear in ensuring that our institutions do not merely comply with the law, but embody its spirit. Let us continue to work together towards a professional environment where equality is not aspirational, but assured, and where redressal is not reactive, but readily accessible. Thank you all. Now I'd request everyone to join us for high tea.
Thank you, sir. I now request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem. Nathinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravid Utkal Banga Vind Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchchal Jaladhi Taranga Tab Shubh Naame Jage Tab Shubh Ashish Mage Gaye Tab Jaya Gatha Jan Gan Mangal Dayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He. I now request everyone to kindly join us for tea. The tea will be served in the lounge.